Beatriz, nice to connect with you. I know you're in rehearsal, so we'll try and make this as easy as possible for you. How are you doing?
I'm doing very well, thank you, Andrew.
So, Girls and Boys, it's what I've read about it. It's quite an intense play. What attracted you to it, and why did you want to be a part of it?
The woman, she is. So the play is the subject matter is quite a heavy one, but she is the most delicious human being. Like, as soon as I read it, sort of fell in love with her. She's the sort of person that you'd want to share a couple of bottles of wine with and be. She felt very familiar, and she's funny and charismatic and witty and articulate. I can't even talk. And she's she's someone that you can relate to. And someone that's resilient and works hard. So, yeah, someone that I wanted to spend sort of a couple of months. I didn't mind spending a couple of months with. That's what's
getting to know her and explore the depths of her character and her story.
And also the challenge of the script. I've never done a solo performance before, so it uses. It's a completely new world for me, and I love sort of having something where you read something and it terrifies you and you kind of go, how can I do this? How am I going to keep the audience engaged for this amount of time when it's just, I love bouncing off other energies on stage, but it's just, the audience are the other character in the show. So that element will come into it once we open. But yeah, for me, she's gorgeous, and the challenge. You rarely get these sort of big, challenging, meaty moments in sort of like your career. So when they do come, you go, yeah.
And doing a one-person show, it's all on you. But when I've talked to other actors and actresses who've done that kind of thing, in some ways it's quite freeing that, yes, it's all just them on stage, but there's something quite amazing for them about it.
Yeah, the amount of detail that you've got to work with is incredible. So I feel that from what we've sort of done so far, you can get really lost in it, in the best way. Like you can really believe that you're in that world and sort of go from moment to moment and allow the dialogue to almost surprise you, have moments of real discovery, and just trust that it's going to come out your mouth. So that's been really amazing. And I guess you're constantly generating the energy of it. So you've got complete control of where it goes. So I can imagine how that would be really freeing. And I can't wait to get there.
Now, the character doesn't actually have a name. She's known as the woman. That's correct, yeah?
Yes.
So when you're creating her, obviously you've got ideas of what kind of person she is. You say she's funny, she's articulate.
Yeah.
But not having a name is a really curious thing, because that is how we identify ourselves so often. Has that impacted, or how have you worked with that?
So it's nice because at the beginning I've had lots of. I'm slowly getting to her name. I've had a couple of names that I've sort of been using in my head because she's reminded me of certain people. But then as we've further got into the process, all the faces that I imagine and names that I imagine she has are slowly disappearing, and she's sort of forming into a person that I've imagined. So I guess it's quite nice because it sort of allows you to really take charge of it.
And evolve, I guess. It evolves for you.
Yeah, so it's been really nice, actually, because usually with a name, names come with history as well.
Yeah, they can be loaded.
Completely. So I think and also when you're reading the script, for me, it's far more impactful when someone doesn't have a name, because it makes the situation, you look at it and you go, oh my goodness, this could happen to anyone. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's really cool. And I'm assuming that you're going to keep that private. That name is just for you. Yeah, brilliant.
Yeah.
So I'm very, very conscious of not doing any spoilers in this interview, because I'm a believer in people should go and experience and let a story unfold.
Yeah.
Unless you're seeing it for a second time, of course.
Yeah.
But it is from what I've read, it is a very humorous play, but it goes very, very dark.
Yeah.
And again, you're the sole actor in this piece. And so I'm wondering, how have you prepared yourself, or what's your process, I guess, in preparing for that and going down that journey, which is both light and very dark?
Yeah. For me, when you're dealing with the themes that I'm dealing with in the play, I love layering it. So emotionally layering it, where I distinguish where she is and where Beatrice is. And then in rehearsals, there'll be places where emotionally it hits me quite hard. But when I end up doing the performance, I won't be doing it like that because it's too much. But I need to layer it and know that what the sensations are in my own body. So I work out what Beatrice is empathetic, like feels, and what she feels. And then they start becoming really clear. So my body doesn't build resistance to going there. Or as the performer, I don't want the audience to ever feel, even if I go to very dark places, I want you to feel that I'm safe. And I think you do that by sort of really distinguishing where she is and where you are. So yeah, that's how I try to do it.
Yeah, because live theatre is so intimate, and the audience suspends a certain amount of belief. We know you're an actor.
Yeah, of course.
But at the same time, a good theatrical performance draws you in. And so you're right about that, because I was going to ask you about safety. You've kind of answered it really, about where's the separation between you as a human being and then you as an actor who's portraying a character that's going through some quite horrific moments. So it's a fascinating process.
Yeah, it's a little, and as a performer, you should never feel pressurized to find it straight away. You should really give yourself the time and embrace the uncomfortableness of it, because once you've layered it properly, then you find a real freedom. So even because there'll be nights, when I'm performing this, that there'll be reactions or there'll be things from the audience that I don't expect, that I need to find the courage and the strength to ride that with the audience. So I'm still the story has to be the clearest. It can't be, oh, look, it's got to be, for me, it's all about the work and the story. But, yeah.
And I guess also as a performer, you never know how an audience is going to react. They may be finding something funny, but they may not laugh. Yeah. They may find something really tragic and they'll laugh.
Yeah.
And so I guess that is another challenge, isn't it? That your performance has to keep on, irrespective of the energy that you're getting from that audience. So which is that exciting, but is it also challenging, I guess?
Yeah, I love it. I feed off that. And it can be until you learn how to take control of it, but still giving permission for the audience to feel that they can react in whatever way they want to.
Yes.
It can be quite scary. But once you sort of, I don't know, it's lovely. You've almost become like a composer. You help each other. Yeah.
And trusting in the process, and that you're right, every audience member has a right to react how they choose, and it may not be the obvious reaction that you're expecting.
Totally. That's what I love about live theatre.
Just a couple of final things. So tell me about the humour, because obviously that balance of comedy and tragedy is, it's a very thin line between the two.
So I think the humour just comes from how she sort of presents her story and how she describes the events and the words and sort of situations how she chooses to describe the event. And she likes swearing. She's a bit vulgar, but in the best in the best ways. But yeah, it's just how sort of the perspective of how she chooses to show you the story and certain events. That's for me. That's where the comedy comes from.
Does the comedy break the tension for you as well?
Yeah, and it allows. I think she also allows you to feel deeper and feel safe enough to go deeper, because I think through comedy and sort of it's a reassurance to everyone to go, look, we're here and I'm here and we're safe, but this is where we've got to go to. But no, she's just, I look forward to people meeting her. I think she's wonderful.
Yeah. Oh, that's fantastic. My final question, quite a bit left field. What's your go-to comfort food? Do you have one?
Chocolate, and I love a roast potato, a really good roast potato.
Do you ever combine the two?
Yes, I have combined the two. I have had chocolate with roast potatoes, cold roast potatoes. Yeah,
I'm sure there's lots of people that could, agree with that. We've all done it secretly. We've all done it. Beatrice, thank you so much for your time. I'm really looking forward to it. I think it's an intriguing concept, and seen you on stage before, loved it. I'm really looking forward to it. So thank you for your time, and get back to rehearsals.
Thank you, Andrew. Take care.